you see, the better you know your audience, the better you can connect with them. And when you connect with them, they trust you. And it's that trust that leads to sales. Welcome to 7-Figure Copy, the show where I teach you how to create powerful strategic messaging so you can attract high-paying clients and scale your business to the next level with ease. I'm Gina Whitehouse, your expert conversion copywriter, and this podcast is for ambitious, value-driven female entrepreneurs like you who are ready to scale from 6 to 7 figures without sacrificing what matters most: your values, your time, and your family. In each episode, we'll dive into the art of crafting persuasive words for high-converting websites and sales pages, and you'll learn strategic copy techniques so you attract premium clients and boost your revenue. This podcast was created to help you tackle the challenges of balancing family life and business growth as you take your business to the next level. If you're ready to add a trusted partner to your team, making sure your message is compelling, consistent, and impactful, then you're in the right place. Welcome. I am so glad you're here, and thank you for listening to the 7-Figure Copy Podcast. I am your host, Gina Whitehouse. Today, we're talking about the topic of how to research your target audience and really create messaging that resonates with them, and that will ultimately thus drive the growth of your business. So before we get into that, I want to share something a little funny, and I think you can relate. So when I was a teenager in the 90s, we had our own special language, and I'm sure you did too, whatever decade you grew up in. And it completely baffled our parents. For instance, if someone said something ridiculous, we'd roll our eyes, at them and hit the as if, made legendary, of course, by Alicia Silverstone in Clueless, which is, by the way, my favorite movie. I love it because I just love a good makeover. So anyways, our slang was like a secret club, and it made total sense to us. And to our parents, it sounded like we were speaking in code. Well, fast forward to today. I have a preteen and a teenager, and they are definitely tossing around words that leave me completely confused. And for a while, they were using, not for a while, they still are. They're using these words, and I'm just like, where did you get these words? And one of them, you may have heard of it, is the word gyat. Now, this is apparently supposed to refer to someone's behind, but I thought that they made up the word themselves until I actually saw someone post it online. Yeah. Another word they like to say is sus, which apparently means that something is suspect or sketchy. And it turns out that these days, this is how kids describe anything that seems shady. And then lastly, there's the word riz, which I thought, again, that they made up entirely until I learned it was short for the word charisma. Now, who even thinks to shorten that word? I don't know, but apparently it's all the rage, and everyone in their age group knows it. Well, the other day I stumbled upon a reel on Instagram that actually explained all these teenage slang words, and I couldn't stop laughing. And really, that was like when I realized that the word gyat was not made up by my kids, and I was just astonished because I'm like, what kind of word is that? And it sounds really dumb, but whatever, I digress. But I tell you this because it reminded me of this. If you don't understand the language someone speaks, you'll miss the entire point of what they're trying to say, right? And in business, it's no different. If you're not tuned into how your audience talks and thinks, or what they care about and how they describe their actual problems, then you're going to be out of touch and your message will not resonate with them. It's really a missed opportunity for sales. So, you're losing the chance to connect with them altogether. So this brings me to the topic of researching your target audience. And why is it so important? It's pretty simple. So you see, the better you know your audience, the better you can connect with them. And when you connect with them, they trust you. And it's that trust that leads to sales. So before I start talking about how to research your target audience, first I want to talk about what would happen if you actually skip this important step. When you don't research your audience, you're essentially guessing at what they want and how they think. Remember that word guessing. In this episode, it's going to be a bad word, okay? Guessing is risky. Why would you risk all the time and effort that you've put into your business to build that program you're building, or that product you're launching, or that service you're getting, right? Why would you risk that and all the time and effort to guess about what your target audience wants, thinks, needs, and desires? If you guess, then you're risking all that time and effort. You see what I'm saying? So here are a few pitfalls that you might face if you skip this crucial step. First, your copy is just going to feel generic and it will fall flat, which equals not many sales or no sales at all. Without the research, your copy can end up sounding really vague and uninspiring, like it could apply to anyone and not just your ideal client. So if your audience doesn't feel like you're speaking directly to them, they will move on and go to someone else, and you don't want that. Let me give you an example to illustrate this. So my son basically asked me the other day why I don't just work as a copywriter for anybody. And what he was really asking me really was why I have a niche, let's say, just for working with female entrepreneurs and small business owners. It didn't make sense to him. So I gave him this example. So let's say you're trying to decide on a doctor to go to, and you have a very specific problem you need help with. Let's just say, for the purpose of this illustration, that it's an issue with your heart. Think about this. Are you just going to go to the general doctor? The guy that you go to for when you have a fever or a cough? Are you going to go to the general doctor, or are you going to go to the guy or the gal who sees patients every day with specific problems? So are you going to go to that guy who's a general doctor who deals with all kinds of problems every day? Or are you going to go to the heart doctor, right? The doctor who specializes in fixing a person's heart? Obviously, you're going to go to the heart doctor, right? And after I explained this to my son, he understood this after I explained it to him, and he agreed with me, right? You're not going to go to the general guy. You're going to go to the girl or guy, who focuses on that specific problem. So in the same way, you need to speak directly to your target audience's struggles and problems. And you'll only know how to do this if you research first. So this is what will set you apart from all those other people in your field and those who do the same thing, and it will set you up as the expert. The second thing, pitfall, right, is that you don't want to attract the wrong clients. And if your messaging doesn't resonate with your ideal client, you might end up attracting people who aren't a really good fit for your business, right? And what does this lead to? It leads to wasted time, frustration, and missed opportunities. Think about this. If you want to fix people's hearts, you're not going to set yourself up as a general practitioner or doctor. No, you're going to tell people on your website that you fix hearts. and if not, you'll be fixing, all kinds of things that you don't want to. So do you see how that works? It's a simple illustration, but I think it conveys what I'm trying to say here. Third thing is that people will lose trust. People can tell when you don't get them. And if your copy doesn't speak directly to them, they might just see you as out of touch or not the right person to solve their problem. And once that trust is gone, let me tell you, it is pretty hard to win back. So this is why audience research is really a non-negotiable for your business. And if you want to create effective, high-converting copy that brings in the right kind of clients and increase sales, you have to do the research. So now let's talk about how it works when you do it right. So when you do the research and you do it right, first, it results in actually speaking the language of your target audience. The way your audience talks about their struggles and goals is what I called gold for your copy. Because when you mirror their language, it feels like you're speaking directly to them. And that builds trust immediately. But if you use jargon or technical terms that they don't really relate to, you're going to risk losing them. So here's an example. Let's say your audience are moms that are struggling with postpartum fitness. They might describe their goals as getting my body back or finding workouts that don't feel impossible, right? So if your copy instead talks about things like functional movement patterns, right? Like you've already lost them. That's more of the technical jargon. Instead, you want to say something like this. Feel strong again with simple, easy workouts that fit into your busy schedule and are specifically designed for moms with infants. All right, that's speaking their language more, and it hits home. Second thing is when you do the research, you're going to attract your ideal client. And when you truly understand your audience, you can write copy that calls out the right people, the ones who are ready to invest in your services. This will not only increase those conversions for you, but it also ensures that you're working with clients who really align with your expertise. Here's an example of that. So if you're a copywriter targeting online coaches scaling to 7 figures, your ideal clients might say something like, I'm ready for someone to take writing copy off my plate because I just don't have time anymore. So knowing this, you could write copy that says, let me take copywriting off your plate so you can focus on scaling your business without burning out. See, in that example, it's specific and it speaks directly to what they need. Lastly, when you do the research right, you stand out as that trusted expert that they're looking for. So when your audience feels like you really get them, like you've been in their shoes or deeply understand their pain points, they are far more likely to trust you. And when they trust you, they'll choose you over the competition. I'm going to give you another example. So again, let's say you're a health coach working with people who are managing chronic stress. And through the research, you learn that your audience often feels dismissed by traditional doctors. They might say things like, well, no one understands how stress affects me physically, and traditional doctors just don't get me. Well, knowing this, now you can reflect it in your copy with something like this. You could write this. You've been dismissed by so many doctors, and I know it's frustrating. I've been there. I understand how chronic stress impacts your body, and I'm here to help you feel better with strategies that really work. Right? So that copy right there instantly sets you apart as someone who truly understands their struggles. So if you're not taking the time to research your audience, you're essentially writing blind. But with the right insights, you can really create copy that connects on a deeper level and attracts the perfect clients you want to work with and really establishes you as the expert that they've been searching for. All right, now that we've covered the why, let's get into the how. I want to give you some actionable tips here that you can actually use to get to know your audience better and start writing copy that resonates. So first, you want to talk to your customers and clients, and this is really how you get the premium copy. This is like what sets you apart from other people, okay? Is that you take the time to talk to your customers, clients, or potential clients, potential customers, people that you want to buy your product, or people they want to work with. So if you've worked with clients before, reach out to them, ask them about their struggles, their goals, what made them choose you. Ask them that. And their words are exactly what you want to use in your copy. Remember, that's the copy gold. Okay. So here's some example questions to ask. You could ask, what were you struggling with before you found me? What hesitations did you have before working with me? Or how has your life or business changed since working with me? Those are great questions to ask. Focus on like the before and afters, okay? And here's an example of that. If you're a business coach, you can ask a client what they were struggling with before hiring you, right? So they might say, I felt completely overwhelmed trying to market my services. I didn't know what strategies worked, and I was wasting hours every day with no results. So you can use those words in your copy and say something like this. Are you feeling overwhelmed with your marketing? Let me help you stop wasting time and start seeing results. So do you see there how we took some of those phrases and we put that in that question? That will resonate with them. Another way to get these phrases and these words and the research you need to write your copy is to read reviews and testimonials. So look at reviews for your business. Start collecting them if you haven't already. And even look at reviews for your competitors. People often share their pain points and their desires in reviews and those before afters, right? And you can weave those into your messaging. So let's say you're a web designer. Read testimonials from past clients or competitors, and you might find, before working with said designer, my website looked amateur and I would cringe when I sent it to people. All right. Now you can take those words and you can write something like this. You shouldn't be cringing when you share your website. Let's create a design you're proud to share. Right? It speaks directly to that pain point and that desire of your target audience. You heard me talk about websites a lot in this episode, and you may be thinking, what if my website is the one thing holding me back from scaling my business? Or does my website make me look as polished and professional as I need to be to attract premium clients? Or maybe you're thinking, I feel like my homepage isn't showcasing the value I bring to the table. If that's you, head over to the show notes right now and download my 7-figure homepage checklist. This checklist will list out for you the 10 essential copy elements you need on your homepage to begin attracting high-paying clients. Read through it and take 10 minutes to do a self-audit of your homepage. See what you're missing, what needs to be added, or what needs to be tweaked to start drawing in the premium clients you want to work with today. Another thing, and this, I'm going to just preface this with saying this isn't my favorite because you can get sucked down into this and spend way too much time doing this, but I'm going to tell you it anyways. The other thing is to hang out in Facebook groups or forums. So you want to find where your ideal audience is hanging out online. Just think about that. Sit down for 5 minutes, brainstorm where you think they might be. You know, are they in Facebook groups, forums? Are they in Reddit threads? Are they on LinkedIn? Just pay attention go into these groups and pay attention to the questions they ask and the language they use. Maybe set a timer 5 minutes a day. Like, you just don't want to spend more time than that, but go in 5 minutes a day, look at the questions that are being asked, and just start like a running list, write it down, or like I like to use Trello for lists. Go in there and just start writing all the different questions that come up. Okay. So if you're a nutritionist, for example, we'll use that profession right now as an example. Join groups for people who are seeking health advice, right? You might see a post that says, I've tried everything to stop bloating, but nothing works. I just want to enjoy eating without worrying about my stomach, right? So you can reflect this in your copy by saying, finally enjoy your meals without worrying about bloating or discomfort after you eat. So again, it's just look for the words, look for the unique phrases, look how people are feeling, okay? Next way you could do the research is by sending out surveys. Now, a quick survey to your email list or social media followers can give you tons of insight. And think specifically, I can't say the word specifically. Think specifically of people that will actually fill out a survey for you. I would say that, this is a good way to find the research, but if you just send it out to just a whole bunch of random people, you're probably not going to get much results. But if you can make a list of 5 to 10 people that that if you send a survey to, they will definitely answer, do that. And make sure when you tell them to, ask, can you have it back to me by this date? Right. And then if they reply yes, then they've committed to it, and you're most likely going to get that survey back. So you want to ask open-ended questions like, what was your biggest challenge when it comes to, and then add your area of expertise. And again, just go back to those other questions I gave you, the before, after questions, what were you struggling with before you found me? How has your business changed since working with me? And so on. So here's an example of that. You could create a survey with an open-ended question what's your biggest challenge in your field? And if you're a career coach, you might get responses like, well, I felt stuck in my job and have no idea how to move forward. Use this again to write the copy that says, do you feel stuck in your career? Let's map out your next steps and get you moving forward with confidence. Fifth way is to listen to sales calls or DMs. Okay. So if you're having conversations with potential clients, on your sales calls, or it could be even in your DMs on Instagram, right? Take notes on the phrases that they're using. Often they'll reveal exactly, what they're looking for, and it'll be in their own words. So if you're a fitness coach, you might hear something in a sales call like, I'm not looking for a program that's going to take hours every day. I need something that's quick and effective. Well, you can rewrite the copy and say, get fit with quick, effective workouts that fit into your busy schedule. All right. Number 6. And yep, this is my last tip for you on how to gain the research. And I like this one. This is one I feel like many people don't think about. It's to check out Amazon reviews. So Amazon is really a goldmine for audience research. And if you look at reviews for products that are similar to yours, or even books your audience might read to solve their challenges, if you do that, you'll notice that people will use language in these reviews that's raw and it's honest and straight from the heart. A lot of times you'll find that they will exactly describe what their problems are and their goals. So here's an example. Imagine that you're a boutique that sells coffee. So you're a boutique coffee shop, and you pride yourself on ethically sourced beans and creating a really cozy community atmosphere. I love those kind of places. Anyways, you could look up reviews for popular coffee brands or coffee related books, and you might find something like this. So I just came up with this. This isn't an actual review, but you might see something that says, I want coffee that's more than just caffeine. I want it to be an experience, but most shops feel so rushed and impersonal. Or I'm looking for a place where I can enjoy my coffee without feeling like I have to be in and out in 10 minutes. Right? So these kind of comments can help you position your coffee shop as a place for coffee lovers who value quality, relaxation, and connection. So your messaging really could take some of these phrases, highlight them, say things like sip, relax, and enjoy your coffee. That's as thoughtful as it is delicious. Or let's say you're a parenting coach and you read reviews for parenting books. Right? You might find someone say, I needed practical advice that worked for my strong-willed child. I was so tired of feeling like a bad parent. Well, you can use this insight in your copy and write practical strategies to help you parent with confidence, even when your child is testing every limit. Right? So These are simple research methods that don't just give you great content ideas, but they'll also give you just a clear window into what your audience needs, what they want, and what they value. And this is exactly what makes for copy that will convert. All right. Before we wrap things up here, I want to talk about something that's important that doesn't get talked about much. And this is what to look for in a copywriter, because research is such an important part of what a copywriter does. It's so important for what I do for my clients, so I can make sure that they have the best premium copy. So if you want to hand off your copy to someone like me, for instance, or any other copywriter, these are things that I want you to think about, okay? If you decide to hand off your copywriting to a professional, it's crucial that you make sure they're committed to doing the research for you. Unfortunately, many copywriters will skip this step. Not everybody. I don't want to paint a large brush here, but you have to keep this in mind when you're going to choose someone that you want to write for you, okay? So the ones that you ask, you should ask them, what kind of research do you do to understand my target audience? If they're just going to say, well, I'm just going to, look online and do some research, and they don't mention anything about interviewing any of your clients or anything like that, that should be a big red flag to you, okay? Because copy that converts, it doesn't come from guesswork. It really comes from understanding your audience on a deep level. So last year, I had a client come to me actually to rewrite copy for their website, and it was written months before by another copywriter. Now, my client's biggest concern was that the copy didn't sound like her. It didn't sound like she was speaking, and it didn't resonate, or she didn't think that it was going to resonate with her target audience. I did a little research on my own and went to that copywriter's website, and I noticed that the tone of voice that she used for her own website was the same tone of voice that she used for my client. So my best guess here is that she didn't do the research she needed, which was actually confirmed to me by my client that she didn't, to write the website copy in a way that spoke directly to my client's ideal target audience. So here's the thing. My client paid twice to have a copywriter write her copy. That's crazy, right? And I felt so bad. I was like, oh, twice, but that's just the way it had to be, And I tell you this story really to highlight the importance of making sure your copywriter takes the time to do the research for you. They should be researching you. They should be researching your business and researching your target audience. Now, when choosing a copywriter, please don't be shy about asking them about their research process. I want you to take the time, or I want you to talk to them, right? Take the time to talk to them, send them questions, email them questions, or get on a 30-minute copy chat. Most copywriters will provide that for you free of charge. And just ask them, how do you take the time to understand my ideal client? Will they review testimonials? Will they interview past clients? How do they dig into the customer feedback? Ask them these things. Or, how are you going to do this, right? A great copywriter is like a detective and will uncover that language and emotions that will make your messaging to connect. And they have to do this. So I just want to make sure that you partner with someone who's willing to do the work for you. Someone who not only writes compelling copy, but also ensures that it's grounded in your audience's needs, desires, and pain points. And that's how you're going to end up with copy that really feels authentic and it speaks to your audience and drives results. So side note, I actually have a blog post on my website. So if you go to www.whitehousesm.com, go to the menu, click on more, and you'll see blog. Click on that. And I have 2 blog posts, and one of them is called, the title is Red Flags to Watch for When Selecting a Copywriter for Your Business. And the second one I have is Questions to Ask a Copywriter Before Working Together. And I'll link these in the show notes so you can just go to them and read them. But again, it's going to give you those questions that you should be asking before you choose to work with a copywriter, or the questions you should be asking, the 1 or 2 or 3 copywriters that you're thinking about working with. So whether you choose to work with me, which would be wonderful, or someone else, you really should be informed and equipped to ask the right questions and make the best decisions for your business. If you take one thing away from today, it's this. The key to writing copy that attracts and converts is knowing your audience inside and out. When you speak their language, they're going to feel seen, heard, and ready to trust you with their business. And Trust is so important, right? It's that trust that sets you apart as a seven-figure expert. All right, I always like to leave you with an action step. So here's your action step for this week. I want you to choose one way to get to know your audience better, whether it's sending out a quick survey or reviewing past client testimonials, or maybe spend 10 minutes reading Amazon reviews of products or books your audience might use. Pick one method and take action. Pay attention to the words they use, the emotions they express, and the challenges that they mention, and then write down 3 to 5 phrases or insights that stand out and think about how you can start incorporating that into the copy you already have. Remember, understanding your audience is the key to writing copy that truly resonates and converts for your business. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of 7-Figure Copy. If you've enjoyed the show, don't forget to leave a 5-star review on your favorite platform and follow me on Instagram for more insights. Can you think of one female entrepreneur or small business owner right now who could benefit from listening to this podcast? Please share this episode with them. And if you're ready to hand off the copy for your website, emails, and sales pages, head over to www.whitehousesm.com to book a complimentary copy chat with me. Let's partner together to take your business to the next level.